Greetings, minions! Auntie Heather here, and Mr. Fang. As you can see, he is thrilled to be a part of this vlog. Look at him. Look how thrilled he is. Oh, he's so cute. So, a lot of you were requesting, actually, that I have my kitties do a wander through because they're always, wandering through, usually behind the door. And so this time you can see, look, there's Mr. Smudge. Oh, cute is he? So this time what I did was I had my son Jacob help me round up my kitties and stick them all in my office. So occasionally you will see them wandering through the vlog because I'm cool like that. I was asking you guys what you wanted to talk about during this vlog, and you guys had some interesting replies, and I printed them out, and I figured we'd pick a bunch, maybe all of them, I don't know, it depends on time. And then at one point I will give you an update on me and, you know, how I'm doing and stuff like that. So, first off, let's say I had asked, you know, what do you guys want to talk about and everything? A lot of people were asking about the Cemetery Boys. It's awesome! Okay, I have seen the cover. I have seen Happy Blurb. I've seen really, really good stuff about it, and I'm very, very excited, but I can't share anything with you yet. There's this thing in publishing. You have to listen to the powers that be because they know what they're talking about, and so a certain time will come when I will get to share the cover with you, and I will get to share more of it with you and pieces of it, and that'll be really exciting, and it'll be awesome. But for now, you have to wait until early 2015 to actually see the book. But I'm hoping maybe by fall, we'll have ARCs, which are advanced reading copies, which are the cheap paperback versions that they give out to booksellers and reviewers. And then hopefully I'll get some, and then I can have contests, and you guys can win it, and then you can read it early and stuff like that. But honestly, I don't know. I don't know anything. All I do is write, because that's what I do. I'm a writer. Oh, look at Smudge walking! Yes, I will be squealing through the entire vlog. Okay, so a lot of people were asking about Soul Broken, too. Don't worry about Soul Broken. It is totally in the writing queue, okay? I already have much of the manuscript finished. I just have to go and fix a lot of things. And it originally was, Legacy of Troll was going to be 3 books. And, you know, now that it's going to be, you know, 2 books, the hard copy of Soulbound and then the ebook of Soul Broken, it makes it so I have to kind of do some of the things I want to do in the 3rd book in the 2nd book. So it's just going to be like a really long ebook, but it's going to be incredible and fantastic. As for when, I have no idea. I don't know. I'm just a writer. That's all I'm doing. I'm writing. So don't worry. It is coming, and you will understand exactly why. What happened at the end of Soulbound, you will understand why, and you will get all the answers, and everything will be good. Just hang in there and be patient with me as we make this transition into a new era. Okay, so let's see. Somebody asked me, would it be cool if you touched on the subject of writers being scared of their writing because they think someone might steal their ideas? Okay, this is something all writers feel at some point. They're terrified to put something out there because you're like, oh, it's such a great idea. What if somebody takes my idea? Don't worry about it, okay? For one, if you are writing, I really don't think you should be posting it online because technically if it's posted online, it's published. So I think that you should, you know, be working at home on your computer about it and fleshing things out and polishing, and maybe sharing with a writer group that you trust very well and getting it exactly where you need it to be and writing a query letter and getting a literary agent and being traditionally published. That's my whole thing on that. But I wouldn't worry too much about people stealing your ideas because the thing is, if anybody else on this planet took, I don't know, let's say the Chronicles of Vladimir Tod, and they wrote the Chronicles of Vladimir Tod, they would not be able to write those books in the way that I was able to write those books because they don't have my voice. They're not in my head. It would be just, even in the smallest way, it would be different. It would be a different story. So don't worry about people stealing your ideas. You know, protect yourself, but don't get all freaky and paranoid about it because there's enough things in this world to worry about, you know? Just write. The key is write. But plus chair equals writing. It's the only formula you need to know. Do it. Somebody said, how hard is it to be an author because of all the deadlines you have to meet and sometimes you just get stuck? Honestly, it can be very difficult. It can be very, very challenging. I like deadlines because it tells me I have to have, XYZ done by this date. And so it kind of pushes me to move forward. But it can be scary, especially if you feel like you're getting stuck, especially if you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing. But that's when you have the people that you trust to talk it out with. I know at any point in time I can call up my agent, I can call up my editor, and I can say, hey, look, I have no idea. So let's talk about it. And sometimes that conversation is all you need to get unstuck. Frequently, I will sit down with my husband and I will talk with him and sometimes at him about certain plot points until I work it out. But it does all work out, and I do manage it pretty much within my deadlines. I try to always hit my deadlines. So, it's stressful, but it's a good kind of stress because, you live in the dream. So really, I can't complain that much. Somebody asked, let's see, wow, a lot of you guys are asking about writing this time. It's really kind of cool, actually. As far as writing, when it comes to getting ideas that are original and things like that, all you can do is write the book of your heart. You know what I mean? Don't worry about trends. Don't worry about what's on the shelves. Don't worry about what's popular. Don't worry about that stuff. Write the book that you want to write. And if you write that book in the best possible way, then people will want to read it. That's the best advice I can give you when it comes to writing, other than the formula, but plus chair equals writing, okay? Let's see. You guys are asking about, since Cemetery Boys is a standalone, do you have any other possible book ideas? Actually, when I sold the Cemetery Boys, I sold a 2-book contract. So it was the Cemetery Boys plus one additional book to be determined later. And I can tell you that I have recently submitted my proposal for the second idea, and my editor loves it, and my publishing house seems to be very supportive about it. And the only thing I will say about it, because I like I want to keep this one kind of close to me, is that this book will be about depression. And I'm very excited about it because it's not just about depression, it's also about when true love goes dark. It's kind of a twisty-turny thing that's very, very personal to me. And so I'm really excited about it, but I don't want to say anything else about it until way, way down the line. Let's focus on the Cemetery Boys for now, guys, okay? And, as for ideas, I never worry about running out of ideas. Somebody else asked that. I never do, because in the beginning I did, but I've been doing this for like 10 years now, roundabout. And, in the beginning I would always be like, oh no, I'm never going to have another good idea. But after a while, you just realize that I will have tons of bad ideas, but a good idea will eventually leak through, and I will have it, and it will come, and you just kind of have to trust it, So, let's talk about stuff. First off, what am I working on right now? Well, I submitted some pages to my agent that he's looking at right now for some other additional project that I'm not talking about. Look at all this stuff I can't talk about. And I am currently working on that project that is not the Cemetery Boys, the second Harper book. So I'm working on that and kind of knee deep into it, and enjoying it very much. And I'm doing a lot of working on me. I have a lot of time until that book is due. That book isn't due until October 1st. So I'm taking my time with it because I want to be very careful with it, because it is, for me personally, it is a triggering book. So I want to be very careful and allow myself time to emotionally digest a lot of the stuff that I'm writing. I've been taking care of a lot of personal stuff, taking care of my family, taking care of my gorgeous kitties, and, just working on me a lot, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. And but first I want to get through all this stuff. I got some travel coming up. I'm going to Phoenix Comic-Con. And, I have a whole bunch of cool things coming on. And my new web guru is actually currently working on my website. So my website is about to change completely and be something totally different and new. I love all the stuff that's on there. I love the colors. I love the cemetery. I love all of that because that's all very much me. But I'm in a place where I need something different. And so this is going to be more of kind of a rock star vibe because, I don't know, some days I feel like a rock star. Some days I don't. Which brings me to our next subject. Okay, so Trigger warning here. And if you don't know what a trigger warning, here's what a trigger warning is. A trigger warning is if you find yourself triggered into things like depression or self-harm or suicidal thoughts or anything like that, if you find yourself triggered into things like that when you hear about certain subjects or read about certain subjects or view certain things, then it's important to have a trigger warning before that so that people can understand what it is that they're about to view or read or experience or blah, 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 so that they can better prepare themselves. Or if they find that they cannot prepare themselves for it, that they can detach and stop watching and stop reading so that they can protect themselves. So if you are triggered by such things, you know, like depression and self-harm and suicidal thoughts and anything like that, I want you to turn off the video right now. I don't want you to watch anymore. I am missing my list. I was going to give you guys another song for the Cemetery Boys soundtrack. I'm missing my list, but don't worry. I will put it down in the thing, in the description thing. I will put it in there so it'll just be out there in the open or anything because I don't want you guys to miss it. But I just, for some reason, don't have time. I cleaned my desk. Look, I cleaned my office. It's amazing. Every time you guys are over, it's a mess. But I cleaned my desk and now I can't find anything. So I'm like, where the heck is the Cemetery Boys soundtrack? I don't know. So, anyway, back to the trigger warning thing. If you are triggered by these things and you're going to turn off the video right now, don't worry. I'm not always going to do this. I just think it's very important to keep talking about my mental health journey. So you will not always have to miss the end of my videos. I promise. Okay, just, you know, for now, if you can get through it because they will always end on a note of hope. But if you're triggered, I totally understand. So, you know, goodbye to all of you, and I love you. Be good and be safe. And I'll wait a second, and then I'll start talking about my journey. Look at Fang. He's a cute baby. I know, I've become just this pile of goo around my kitties. So, people have been asking me something lately. It's interesting because it's my journey to well-being has become kind of a accidental anthropological study. People ask me this question, and by this question, they don't necessarily mean what they're asking. I mean, they do, but they don't. Well, I'll tell you the question, then you can figure it out. People hear about me, and they hear about the things that I've been going through, and they ask me, how are you? And they always say it in that tone. They always say, how are you? Now, of course, what they mean is, are you still depressed? Are the meds working? Are you having suicidal thoughts? Are you going to hurt yourself? That's what they mean. But they ask, how are you? And I think one of the reasons that they ask it in that way, in an indirect way, is because, A, they don't want to hurt me and they don't want to bring up any of these terrible feelings or thoughts. They don't want to, you know, instigate anything. And the kitties are doing something. And another reason that they ask it in that way is because they, you know, for one, it's like treading onto an icy pond. You know, you have to be very careful. You don't want to hurt anyone. But at the same time, I think a lot of them are afraid to ask because I think a lot of them, they want to know I'm okay. But a lot of people don't necessarily really want to hear how you are. People get very uncomfortable when you discuss mental health. And I think they get uncomfortable because it's, you know, sometimes it's a squeaky thing and, you know, it's not all like hearts and rainbows and it's not all happy endings. And it's unfortunate, but that's the truth of it. But I am always appreciative whenever somebody asks, how am I? You know, how are you? Because it gives me a moment to reflect and look, are you looking at this? Do you see what is happening over here? There's like major sibling rivalry happening. But it gives me a moment to reflect. And I ask myself, well, how am I? You know, how am I? And some days I'm good. Some days I'm really good. Some days I'm really bad. Today's pretty okay. Yesterday was a really bad day. Yesterday, and I'm triggered by the weirdest things, you know, like yesterday, I have for 4 years we've lived in this house, and I have been building this gorgeous goth garden, and it is all these really strange looking plants and flowers, and it was just flourishing for 4 years, and it was huge and it was beautiful, and I loved it. And every spring I look forward to the flowers coming out and all the greenery, and I just love it. And I have a lot of like black leaf plants and just beautiful. And this year I went out and I weeded, and every single plant died. And it got to me. It got to me in like a major way, you know. And I was sitting there by the goth garden, and I just lost it. I just started crying, and I sat out there for an hour just sobbing, sitting on my patio beside my goth garden, just sobbing. And it was horrible. It was horrible because the day before had been, I thought, pretty good. And it's strange depression. It's strange because it comes on like a summer storm sometimes. You know, sometimes you can feel it coming. You feel the air get heavy. You feel it rolling in. You know it's going to storm, and then it rains. But sometimes it's not like that. Sometimes it's very sudden. The goth garden thing bothered me a lot more than it should have. Today's much better than yesterday, and tomorrow might be better or tomorrow might be worse. I don't know. I am still taking my medication every single day. If you're prescribed medication, take your medication. Very, very important. I have, if you haven't been watching my videos and you don't know about my diagnosis, I've been diagnosed with depression and anxiety and OCD. And I think my OCD is kind of messing with me a little. I have this really silly thing about oatmeal. I have this thing where I have to eat oatmeal before I take my medicine in the morning. And it's like apple cinnamon Quaker oatmeal. And if I don't take apple cinnamon Quaker oatmeal, I'm kind of convinced that like the meds won't work the same. Which I know is ridiculous and which is silly, but that's kind of, you know, part of the wackadoo thing that I'm dealing with right now. But I'm not so much worried about my OCD issues. The OCD issues do complicate my life, but I have been dealing with them my entire life, and I know what they are, and you know the medication I'm taking will also deal with those. For me, the biggest issue is the depression and the anxiety. People ask me all the time, you know, when it comes to depression, you know, are you all right? That's kind of a variation on how are you? Are you all right? And what they mean by are you all right is, are we going to be attending a funeral for Auntie Heather? And the answer is, I may not always be all right, but I will always be here. That's just it. I got a tattoo recently. You can't really see it because it's upside down to you, but it goes all the way around. And if you're a fan of My Chemical Romance, you'll appreciate it. It's a lyric from a song, and it says, I am not afraid to keep on living. And that's the truth of it, minions. I'm not afraid to keep on living. It's hard sometimes not to dwell on very dark thoughts, but we can never give in to those thoughts. We have to keep living, if nothing else, to make the world a more interesting place. This tattoo I got as a promise to myself that I would never stop fighting. It's a promise I've made to myself. It's a promise I've made to my family. And it's a promise that I've made to you. I will never stop fighting. I am not afraid to keep on living. So you shouldn't be either. Some days are going to be dark and some days are going to be hard and awful. But right now, there's nobody else here. It's just you and me. So let's talk about that. If you're feeling these things, if you're feeling depression or suicidal thoughts, it feels a lot like you're in a very dark tunnel. If you're feeling anxiety, it's like being in an ever-shrinking closet with an ever-growing tornado. And I go through that too. But let's talk about the depression for a moment. It's like being in the tunnel where the blackest parts of the tunnel just keep getting blacker. And where you feel like there's no one in there with you. And there's no end to it. It's horrible. It's a horrible thing. But I promise you, I am standing right there beside you. And if you reach out just a little bit, I'll hold your hand because I'm right there with you. I get it. I understand. But the thing is, it's okay to have these thoughts. It is not okay to act on them. It's not okay for you. It's not okay for me. And so we'll get through all of this together. I know we will. Some people don't think that we should talk about such issues. Some people don't think we should talk about having depression. Some people don't think we should talk about suicidal thoughts. But I think it's important that we do because it's not something to be embarrassed about. You know what? Some brains are wired one way and some brains are wired another. My son has Asperger's syndrome. His brain is wired in that manner. My husband has ADHD. His brain is wired in that manner. Me, I got stuck with depression, anxiety, and OCD. That's the way my brain's wired. You know what? It happens. It's okay. The kitties are completely, utterly obsessed with all things with feathers. That's the way their brains are wired. There's no shame in it. No shame in my game. So don't worry about it, minions. Just stay alive and stick with me, okay? All right, that's it for me for now. I'm going to start vlogging more because I think that it's really important to keep talking to you guys and telling you how much I love you and, you know, hanging out with you. I want to show you one more thing before I go. I told you about @Sassinslash, my friend Rachel. Look at the lovely present she gave me. Look at it. It's so pretty. Seriously, this is like the best. She made this beautiful pin for me, so I'm going to wear it when I do appearances because, you know, she's as twisted as I am, which is really nice. She's one of you guys, so it's kind of cool. Anyway, go off, do your thing. Write if you are graduating from high school. Congratulations! Life is about to begin, minions, and it's about to get really good. So keep working, keep doing your thing. Keep rocking this. Watch for some stuff for me because I think we should be doing some contest or something soon. Be good, be safe, and remember, Auntie Heather loves you.